Adam Hicks. He ended up committing armed robbery while in this state of mind and got arrested and sentenced to 5 years in LA County Jail.
So the truth is, I was arrested, but right after, I was found incompetent to stand trial, which means I was not in my right state of mind during all this or after my arrest.
Who was there? Bro, I lost everybody, bro.
I was flagged by multiple psychiatrists as incompetent to stand trial, which means I could not stand trial because of my mental state.
At this point, it seems like Disney is setting up their stars for failure. Adam Hicks was going to be the next big thing. Disney had him in their movies, television shows, and even had him making music. But once family troubles went down, Adam went off the deep end. He was arrested for getting physical with his girlfriend, shooting himself in the leg, and committing armed robbery against elderly women. So let's get into it. We're going to be talking about a former Disney child star who found himself in big trouble. His name is Adam Hicks, and back in 2017, he was arrested twice. He also has a disturbingly violent history, which includes attacking his own girlfriend and allegedly shooting himself in the leg. So how did we go from, a Disney child star to someone who's an adult, mentally ill, and going after other people? If you guys don't recognize Adam Hicks, he's currently 30 years old, but back in the day, he was a part of a bunch of different Disney projects. He's best known for movies and TV shows like The Boy Next Door, How to Eat Fried Worms, Zeke and Luther, and finally Lemonade Mouth. This movie, How to Eat Fried Worms, came out in 2006, and I actually remember seeing Adam in this movie.
At Billy's new school, the one kid you don't want to mess with is Joe Guire.
Joe has a ring called the death ring. If he punches you with it, you die in 8th grade.
Another popular film that Adam Hicks has starred in is Lemonade Mouth. This was released back in 2011. At this point in his career, he seemed like he was headed down the right path. He had been working since he was 9 years old. He's starting to grow up and he's continuing to score roles. So at this point, it seemed like he was going to be maybe one of the next big actors.
What is the deal with Lemonade Mouth? How does that fit into the movie?
Lemonade Mouth. There's a part in the movie where it kind of explains how we get our name, and it has to do with a bully. I don't really want to explain all of it because it kind of is like a big moment for Lemonade Mouth. Yeah, it's kind of like underlying meaning.
Now let's talk about how Adam's life fell apart and he found himself in prison. Now, if you want to go and rob someone, that's an easy way to find yourself in jail, especially when you are committing several armed robberies. He was arrested back in 2018 after allegedly robbing and attempting to rob several victims with his girlfriend, fellow actress Danny. They were in the Burbank area bouncing around, clearly on substances, and trying to rob people. So he and his girlfriend allegedly demanded money and goods from several victims on the street while pointing a gun at their faces, including two elderly women in their 70s. Seriously? There's something clearly wrong with anyone who goes after an elderly person. Adam's girlfriend, Danny, pled no contest to these charges, but she found herself in trouble. She only received 3 years of formal probation, but I think, she's as guilty as Adam is. It's kind of odd because they were trying to rob multiple people within minutes of each other. So, of course, someone's going to call the police, and they found Danny driving the getaway vehicle with Adam in there. A gun and stolen property were found on the premise. Here's a clip of some security footage where you can see Adam and his girlfriend going and trying to intimidate some guy, and then this guy just runs away when he has the chance. And you'll also see someone else in the background walking forward, and they kind of get into their car, but they're looking out their car because they can tell there's some commotion going on. So you'll see Adam getting out of this black car and approaching this man, obviously really aggressive, and there's another person leaving their home, minding their business. You can see that he's got his arms crossed, he's trying to act all intimidating. And as soon as he looks away, this man just bolts, which is really smart. I mean, you really don't know if this person's violent or not, so I would be scared that Adam would just start shooting. But yeah, also peep the guy in the corner right there in his car, just looking over. So yeah, he doesn't seem like, maybe he's better at acting than he is at robbing. Now, Adam has gone to jail for his crimes, and he's been open to the public about this experience and what he's been doing, and he's actually been getting into music while behind bars.
How did this Disney Channel star go from getting sent to prison to being compared to Jack Harlow? This is Adam Hicks, and he may bring up some childhood memories for you, having starred in Disney Channel shows and movies like Zeke and Luther and Lemonade Mouth. But behind closed doors, Adam didn't have the best life. Having started smoking and drinking at age 12, Adam's life wasn't as it appeared on screen, and this really came to light in 2018. After his best friend Taylor Watts passed away, Adam ended up drinking to the point of being unaware of his actions, and between that and his pre-existing mental health issues, he completely blacked out. He ended up committing armed robbery while in this state of mind and got arrested and sentenced to 5 years in LA County Jail and was just released back in March of 2022.
So Adam was using substances because he had lost someone close to him, and it pushed him to that point where he was drinking, taking Xanax, not mentally well, and he admits that. I don't think there's really any excuse for going after elderly people and trying to steal their phone and their money. It's just like, mentally ill or not, there's definitely something wrong with you, and he has had a violent past before these incidents. Adam was arrested twice before the robbery spree. In the first incident, he reportedly shot himself in the leg. He was very uncooperative, according to court documents, but the case was closed shortly after his arrest due to insufficient evidence. Now, I don't know why he would have shot himself in the leg. Like, I cannot figure out the context of this story, but Adam Hicks is welcome to come onto the podcast and talk about his experience and, you know, the crimes and what he's learned. I'd love for him to come on. So if you guys want to ask him, let's get into it. But the second incident happened 2 months later, and he was arrested after allegedly getting violent with his girlfriend, Danny. He was not prosecuted for this incident. It's not clear if maybe, you know, Danny didn't want to press charges or what. Either way, domestic violence is also very unacceptable. With this criminal past, he has found himself behind bars for 4 years of his life. I mean, he's only 30 years old, so that's a good chunk to spend in jail. And I hope that he has learned some lessons.
So the truth is, I was arrested, but right after, I was found incompetent to stand trial, which means I was not in my right state of mind during all this or after my arrest. I was flagged by multiple psychiatrists as incompetent to stand trial, which means I could not stand trial because of my mental state.
I'm not entirely sure if he pled insanity, because that's kind of like something you do when you murder someone, but it did seem like he was so mentally checked out, maybe in some psychosis, that he could not register what he had done. I'm not a huge fan of medication personally, but sometimes it's necessary. Like, your brain, your neurotransmitters in your brain are not producing the levels that you need, and it will set you off. And he actually claims when he went to the hospital and got on medication, it helped him a lot before returning to jail.
So the judge sent me to a hospital where they put me on medication, and it helped me immensely. Then once I regained my competency, I was sent back to LA County Jail, where I had to start the process over again and ultimately take a deal.
Even with Adam going through so much, he was working up until he started getting violent. And you guys may see there's a theme in these videos that once these stars get arrested, they're not really working anymore because nobody wants to deal with that. The last major role he's had was a Hulu show called Freakish, which he appeared on in 2017. I've actually never seen this show, so comment below if you guys have. But now that he's talking about his experience publicly, people are starting to remember him and question why this ever even happened. One person tweeted, "I'm watching Lemonade Mouth, and all I can think about is the fact that Adam Hicks became an armed robber. Like, did the Disney Channel money run out?" Now, Adam Hicks is finally opening up about his arrests and concerning past behavior. And maybe the Disney money did run out, especially if he was drinking and on Xanax. It's living out here in LA. I mean, entertainment, you can either make a lot of money or not a lot of money. And I feel like there's the 1% that makes a lot of money, but actors and such, they really don't, they're not rolling in, cash out here. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Disney Channel money ran out, especially if his parents were also making money off of that. I'm not entirely sure what his background is like, but that's another common theme in Hollywood. Even though I'm disgusted with the crimes he's committed, I do appreciate that he's embracing his talents still while he is in prison and trying to make content, trying to make it make sense. And even though I think it's he needs to go and apologize to all those people that he did wrong, interesting to see how like this Disney star is now rapping behind bars.
And now that he's been released, he's come back into the spotlight, having dropped a new song called Chosen One, and people on TikTok are comparing him to Jack Harlow. Do you guys think Adam Hicks' music now compares to the Lemonade Mouth soundtrack?
In some of his music, you can hear some of the struggles that he has gone through. For example, I do believe that he led to self-medicating because of his mother's death and his brother serving jail time, and just all these people in his life kind of falling apart pushed him to that point where he didn't know what to do with himself. He was quoted saying, "During this time, I started to heavily use Xanax and heavily drink and slowly deteriorate into this insanity. I was having delusional episodes." He says, "Honestly, I don't have a reason, and that's the worst of it all. There's a lot of things in the media, the things that happened that are true, I take full responsibility for, especially to the victims. I was not in the right state of mind, and I do take full responsibility, and I deserve what happened to me." And honestly, like, you know, we talk about really tragic people, and even though I do not like what this guy has done, like, isn't it so crazy to see accountability? Like, he actually, like, I do actually think that this guy was just in a really bad place, and like now he's realized like how he's screwed up.
Like you were saying, who was there, bro? I lost everybody, bro. Yeah. Like, I mean, literally, like, you know, my dad wasn't there, my brother wasn't there. You know, nobody was there, you know, and, you know, it's out of sight, out of mind. A lot of people I was locked up with, actually, they would tell me things like, you know, people been down 14, 15 years, you know. I mean, in LA County Jail, it's crazy, man, because there's certain people there who've been fighting their case for like 12 years. Jeez. And they're on 24-hour lockdown, bro. And I don't know how it's like humane, because you're in a 6x9 and it's literally 24-hour lockdown because of the status of like being an actor. I was in high power. So we were on this row called Denver Row. And there, like I was saying, there was people there who've been there 12, 13 years fighting their case, bro. Mentally, I don't know how. That's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. And don't get me wrong, people who commit crimes deserve to go to jail, but I mean, they're still human.
I actually respect that he mentions that, you know, even though he's not the biggest actor, he still had the upper hand in jail because of that privilege, which I think, you know, explains a lot when it comes to these celebrities getting out easy. But since then, it looks like he's trying to change his life around and make music and just continue creating.
What's up? It's Adam Hicks, and this is for all my Lemonade Mouth fans. Yeah, check it out. It's when and I'm pimping saying music like a veteran, renegade, lemonade, using my medicine. Go ahead and try to name a band, we ain't better than. Reason why the whole world's picking us instead of them. People need to breathe because they feeling that adrenaline. Stop. Now hurry up and let us say knock, cause we coming to your house and people come smiling like a lemons in their mouth. I'm the real deal, you know how I feel. Why they in it for the meal? We just in it for a thrill. Get down now. I ain't play around. Put your feet up on the ground, just make that sound like determinate. I got new music coming out. Check me out. Peace.
I don't know if that's the type of rap I would personally listen to, but he should continue doing his thing. And I think in the grand scheme of it all, it's sad to see how these Disney stars are out here, you know, working so hard throughout their childhood, and they're missing out on some, you know, basic needs to where when they become an adult, they don't know how to necessarily function. I mean, he lost his entire family. There's no one, you know, in the industry who wanted to stand up and try to save him. So he ultimately had to hit rock bottom, and luckily he found himself out of it, because so many stars don't. But I want to hear what you guys think in the comments below. Here's my email. Let's open this PO Box package item. It looks like it's from LD, who's located in MS. Where is MS? Minnesota? Okay, we got a package within a package. What the hell? Oh my gosh. Okay, hold up. Sloan, my name is Lloyd, and I discovered your channel during the Free Britney movement, and I really enjoy it. I collect VHS tapes, CDs, cassettes, and I want you to have this copy of the Baby One More Time album 20th anniversary release. Thank you for being you, Lloyd. I've got goosebumps all over. I don't think you guys can even see. Look at this. I don't own anything like, this is probably the oldest thing that I now own. Wow. Oh my gosh, I am going to treasure this, Lloyd. I love it so much. I need to get a cassette player, but I don't even want to open out the plastic. Like, this is like a piece of history right here. Oh, this is so sweet. I was just talking about like Crazy last night in like the behind the scenes music video, and I love that song. Oh, thank you so much, Lloyd. This means so much. I'll see you guys in a new video soon. Bye, guys.